This is Shuffle. I'm rather pleased to say that this is completely blind on my part, so I'll also have the pleasure of experiencing this for the first time with you. To such an extent that, in fact, I'm not even sure what version I'm playing. So, I'm not even sure what heroines will be available. This game has a quite storied history. You see, for one thing, it was in translation for the English patch for years. I think that was eventually completed, but I doubt we're playing that version, so let's get started here. This is a visual novel, I'm sure you know, so let's dive in.
最初から始めるよ。
You can have an auto-click option on this if you want, but personally I avoid
だっ
that.
たらあの女性なんてどうです？
I think that this person's speaking remarkably slowly. Let's see. Message speed. Yes. I'm not a special student. I can read quickly enough. Thank you. So let's get on that one. Okay. There we go. What do you think about that girl? Incidentally, despite looking slightly effeminate, neither one of these qualify. They're both males.
ほほう、なかなかだ。あれは75点はつけてもいいだろう。
Notice, by the way, the distinctly protruding ears here, blood red eyes as well. It might tip you off something's a little unusual.
75か。厳しいですね。俺様としては80くらいは言ってもいいと思うんですけど。
Yeah, really, man. 80's a B minus. That's kind of an insult to a woman.
世界を狭い目で見てはいかんよ。世の中にはまだまだ美しい女性は大勢いる。あの女性に80点をつけてしまえば、その上には20点分しか残らないじゃないか。
なるほど。おじさん分かってますね。
And that's still too slow. Have a moment. I usually play on the fastest anyway.
なに？君より多少長く生きているというだけのことだ。少年よ、君こそその年でこれほどの軽眼。
As for your eyes, they're shot blood red, so I wonder what you've been taking. That will probably be revealed soon. I played a little bit into this with the patch version, the original one, which was delayed for years. I wonder if the person got put in jail or something. I'm half kidding. I think it takes away a little bit of the suspense to have it instant, so let's adjust that again. Yeah. Well, this is all part about getting to know a game.
いや、俺様の本領はまだまだこれからですよ。バーベナ学園にその人ありと歌われたこの緑葉五木。女性を見る目に妥協なし。
Is that the flower your academy's overgrown with, or what?
おほう、君はバーベナ学園の生徒かね。だとすれば実に頼もしいことだ。
You may be, but you can't be talking a mile a minute. Okay, getting back to this. That's going to be worked into a beautiful metaphor in a bit.
Are? なんだ、来てたんだ、リン。
Well, I've been here for about as long as I've been scowling at you.
リン、友人かね？
ええ、一応は。
Oh, what a jackass. Yes, and by the way, this is the system setting option, just in case you weren't familiar with it.
そういや待ち合わせしてたんだっけ。すっかり忘れてたよ。
I can read this much quicker, but I want you to be able to read it obviously as well, although generally the pausing option's a pretty good idea.
この暑いのによくまあ。少しくらい遅れたって文句言わないんだから歩いてきなよ。
I'm not the person you're eager to see, I see. Buying, aren't you old-fashioned? Actually, incidentally, you can download this visual novel illegally if you want to, so things have advanced since then.
あれつまらなかったよ。主演女優があからさまな年齢詐称。あまりにムカついたんで週刊誌の編集部に偽名で送りつけといた。販売先の住所つけて。その時には楓ちゃんに迷惑かけないようにね。
This translation, I hope, isn't going to have many notes. Oh god, that makes it look horrible. No, if you want anything to be in there that shouldn't be, it's a series of bizarre characters that you get from fan translations, just things that didn't code correctly, and so they're being translated by the Windows system as bizarre little imagers. That adds interest. But this crap, come on, who the hell doesn't know about that Chan thing? By the way, Kaede, definitely one of my famous ones, and don't worry, this isn't the Kaede who's an old woman from Inuyasha. Speaking of which, Rin was also a character too, right? As to why you're friends, I would imagine comedic relief thing, correct? Yuki Zakura, however, had a better best friend in my opinion, but I haven't known this person for long, and hopefully if this is a good visual novel, I won't be knowing him for long either. Get the hell out of here, this is about the women. Is that a comment on the academy or your friend?
仲良きことは美しきから。友人は大事にせんとな。
Yes, until you get a girlfriend. Right, who this is. I believe the game at this point takes the time to explain why someone has overly long nails here, bloodshot eyes, and these huge malformed ears, which look like they could skewer someone. More deadly looking than the overgrown nails.
いや、リンが来るまで暇だったんでナンパしてたんだけどさ、その途中で知り合った。なんかやたらと気があってね。
女性というものは我ら男種族にとって永遠の神秘。その探求を続ける同志として意気投合を果たしたというわけだ。
The eternal dream. Incidentally, that's another reason why people enjoy visual novels. Yeah, this whole crap. In the original translation, they didn't do things like that. This is a little more clunky than it should be. Here you go. Well, this classmate's probably something of a devil as well, just not with the excuse of the ears. You can probably guess these are not devils that go around devouring people. At least I don't think so. That would be another genre. Because of the ears?
魔族は珍しいかね。
No, I have classmates who are the devils. I see them all the time. Praised me? There must have been a better word. Because they all look alike.
懐かしさ。
I think I shot you in a video game. Did you know our people hunt yours for entertainment and cultural depictions? No, we do everything. We even place crimes on you and all sorts of things. Your very convenient existence. I just hope the legal system hasn't caught up to our malice, because that would be pretty boring then. Interesting. I wonder if this man is a father or something. I can't think if there are demons in this game. You can't romance one or two.
リン、クド君なら女にしようよ。
Yeah, that did sound a little stereotypical. Good for you.
それでは続きといこうか。我ら美形遺伝子の持ち主が3人も揃っているんだ。それを使わないのは自分に対する冒涜だ。
Hey, speak for yourself. The silent, or in this case faceless protagonist generally has his head completely hidden in shadows. I don't know about you, but that's not usually an indication of a handsome look, but the women will probably be swarming around him just to figure out what's that face underneath those shadows, and how can he move about if his face is constantly covered by darkness? These sorts of things are never answered, but whatever, it doesn't matter. I take the guess that other parts of his anatomy work, even if his eyes seem to sadly be absent from his face. You probably don't get that one if you haven't seen some of these depictions, but they often don't have eyes or facial features. It's just a bunch of shadows. Assumably, this allows us to connect with them better, but I don't look like that, so I don't think you do either. Anyway. You're in the wrong game then.
あのね、リン。これは興味の有無じゃないんだよ。
It's about putting yourself out there.
例えば、世の中には才能ってものがある。絵の才能、文の才能、音楽の才能。こういった才能を開花させて悪いことがあるかい？ないよね。
That's a healthy attitude.
絵の才能を持っている人がすごい絵を描いたら褒められる。その努力を褒めてあげるべきだ。容姿だってそれと同じ。生まれた時から持ってる一つの才能なんだ。
Yeah, but if you think about it, eventually you might want to use that to cater to the adultery crowd, and I don't think anyone's going to praise you then, but still at this age, I guess you're interested in innocent things, so good for you.
美人になる才能を持った女性がそれを磨いて本物の美人になった。だったらそれを褒めてやるのは正しいことじゃないかい？
But the natural beauty is beautiful, not the product of artificiality.
容姿の才能を持って生まれてその才能を開花させた。男っていう種族はその努力をこういう形で褒めてあげるべき義務があるんだよ。
And as a comedian in training, you have an obligation to do so in a manner that causes you to be slapped.
言ってみればナンパっていうのは頑張った女性たちに対する俺様たち男からのご褒美なんだ。
Rape's a proof of physical athletic ability.
さあ、分かってもらえたところで行くぞ。ちょうどいい。見たまえあの女性を。容姿、スタイル、気品、そのどれもが紛れもない最高クラス。ああいった女性に声をかけないのは男として失礼に値する。
Is this going to turn into a stalking game? It'd be a pity if they don't have a genre for that. I'm sure there are all sorts of unique angles for something that involves that. Ah, look at those eyes. That's someone who's ready to strike back.
おじさん待った。それはやば。
Itsuki screamed and thrust his arms towards the man in order to protect him from danger. However, he quickly put Itsuki's arm out of the way and seductively smiled at the girl. Pushed her.
美しいお嬢さん、まさかとは思うのですが、お一人ですか？
No, I have a split personality that always travels with me. Yeah, again, speaking of cliches, the original translation had something much better. It was talking about basically with a person who was handsome like him, you know, a simple line went best. It wasn't any of this crap about fine wine.
「あ、自慢するわけじゃないんだが、綺麗なんて言葉はもう聞き飽きててね、正直なんとも思わないんだ。
俺様は逃げるから、リン、後で合流の方向で。
Although teacher rape forms a popular genre, I
見つかる前に逃げてしまえば勝ちだよ。死体の見つからない殺人は事件にならず、こいつと同じ論理だね。
I've only heard a rumor about that. I don't know if it's true or anything. Just read this. You must mean she's interested.
なんと
She's your teacher. It was love at first sight.
まあナンパ自体を責めるつもりはないが、昨日私の補習授業をサボった件に関してはしっかりと理由を説明してもらわんとな、緑場。
My mind wasn't working, but another part of my body was.
いや、
Oh man, come on, have a smooth comeback.
タイヤ付きグランド50周とうさぎ跳び階段30往復、どっちが好きだ？
How about I run 20 times around with you on my back?
せめて格調高くチェックメイトと言ってほしいね。
That legal?
まさかあの麗しき女性が君たちの担任だったとはな。申し訳ないことをした。
Man, he had legs. If he chose not to run, that was his issue. Then if he's so good at running, which he'll need to be for the discipline, he really could have turned around and hit his face or something. Well, and run while he was hiding his face.
君はこれからどうするのかね？
This must be something that doesn't carry over with translation well. If it's an extra lesson, why did he have to even be there?
そうか。ではこれでお別れだな。あの少年にも楽しかったと伝えておいてくれ。
Yeah, I'm sure he'll care that while he's crying while he has a tire around his throat or something. That would be an interesting game, thinking about all the various ways to torture your delinquent
それでは
students.
一時のお別れだ。
No, not a shred of romantic interest involved, nor a shred of humanity. There are classic things to do, like pour honey all over someone and just throw them to the bears. I wonder if they actually are that passive just to lick someone. I would think the blood would eventually interest them more than the honey. Oh, a devil with a long coat. Black in color, I imagine. That's interesting. Well, if you do ever see each other, I guess you can play the role of a cool prophet. It was a prophesized return. You notice the lettering there across the street? You have to remember this game came out in the days pre-widespread availability of HD. Back then, you couldn't read any of those letterings. I'm sure right now that you'd be able to read it perfectly. However, not me. My vision isn't good enough, so I never quite upgraded to HD. Yes, I was going to remark I'd be thinking about her a lot too. She or Pramila are my favorite. Can you read this, by the way? I knew Kaede could cook anything if I gave her the ingredients. Her father was away on a business trip. Really? I don't think that's it. So he didn't have to worry about the menu very much. I think her parents are dead, actually. What are they talking about? Her father was away on a business trip, so she didn't have to worry about the menu very much. First of all, I think I'll get some meat. Oh, yeah. These are one of those first choices. But I'm going to build up the intensity very much for you. I, like you, are playing this blind. Indeed, I'm hurling towards some crash site, and I know not in which bosom I shall land. So, I hope it has a lot of padding. No, not indicating a particular preference, just if I am hurling towards something. Anyway, I am not going to save, and I am not going to reload. Although I must admit, this is not nearly as cool as I'm making it sound, because you can usually just hold down the spacebar and skip quickly through to something. That something usually being an H scene. But that's not the only way you can use it. I think that's the way most people use it though, but whatever. So I am not going to save, and I'm not going to look up what choice does what. This is truly blind, except for the fact that we need our eyes to read this, so let's continue. I headed towards the meat aisle. I'm a vegetarian.
グラム換算するとこっちのが安いけど、全体で見るとこっちのが安いんだよね。
Well, she has a voice and a cute one. You think she'll be someone we can pursue? Knowing a little bit ahead about some of the cultures of these groups. Notice the ears don't stick out as much. I wonder if that's significant, perhaps a different species, or perhaps gender dimorphism is at play here. Anyway, I suspect we'll be able to pursue a number of women if we pursue her, which is something definitely to recommend her. A little cost per gram, but this one's cheaper as a whole.
お父さんよく食べるし、だったらやっぱりこっちの方がいいかな。
What does your dear fat ass enjoy? Not obviously you. You're very skinny and attractive. I'm talking about the father who eats so much.
あ、でもたまにはこういったものもってダメ。これだったら向こうのお店の方が安いもんね。
Really listen to the voices. They're one of the draws of these sorts of games. And incidentally, this is a mark of a good Japanese woman, sometimes depicted in culture, the ability to find excellent sales, to have skill at shopping, that sort of thing. Very domestic. It's rather charming. A woman who knows how to cook? I don't think that's that rare. Target acquired. She probably has a beautiful personality too, so let's hope we get to know this woman. Thankfully the jackass is away. Maybe you could fling him in the sewers or something like that. I hear those odors don't go away very quickly. That and meat shops, you know, slaughterhouses. So if he's reeking constantly, less competition in regards to the women. There we go. A god, as opposed to a devil. Perhaps we are to say an angel. Well, if not darkness, perhaps something more of a gloom for some of them? I'll just say this right now. I'm something of a purist. By the way, I have purchased, I think, every single shuffle game. Yes, quite proud of that too. In addition, I have even all of the manga, the Japanese stuff. Can't read a bit of it now, but hey, one day perhaps. I've pretty much learned and studied everything by this point. Why not a foreign language eventually? Anyway, yeah, I didn't want to open the box on my original one and blah blah blah, so I think we're playing the Anniversary Edition. Therefore, there are going to be some extra characters, which normally is a great thing, but I like to play the original pure version first, and but not in your case. You might want to see them extra characters, and so we'll probably have extra dialogue here, like mentioning this Mayumi, who may be an additional person that wasn't featured originally. Let's go. You'll notice the cute way she curves her hands and points her fingers. This is all very beautiful and feminine. Bunch of cute women there, I hope. Turn around and see the love of your life. My heart skipped a beat. And I knew that somewhere in her eyes, I was looking at my future fate. You know me? Well, if you were a devil, I'd advise you just to steal all of it, but if you want to buy it, I guess.
一応この2つのどっちかまでは絞り込んだんだけどね。ただそこからが大問題なの。うちにはよく食べるお方が1人いらっしゃるので、こっちのパックを2つでいくか、それともこっちの大きいのを1つでいくか、悩みモード全開中。
No. Buy a pack of sawdust and, I don't know, if you want to, buy some animal skin. Stick it in there, put some tomato sauce inside, and let the fat ass eat as much as he want of the sawdust, which is, I believe, what the old dieting shakes used to have a lot of. But be filial if you wish, I guess, and get actual food for your parent. You're so old-fashioned, but that's pretty charming. Look, I have to be honest, I'd choose the smaller one, so that seems a lot more surgical and precise to me. But this is a game of flirtation, and that means you lie. No, you should be charming. Or you lie. Therefore, I think in her case she might prefer that I say the big ones? Can I bring myself to lie to such a pretty face? Then again, it may not really be lying. I could just be adopting the psychology of her big eating dad. You son of a bitch! I think there's supposed to be a choice here. You better not have cut out one of the choices.
やっぱりそうだよね。お父さん本当によく食べるから。
Miss, I'm developing quite a fondness for you. Oh, look at that little delicate strap around the neck, that black thing. That line which would be so easy to snap. You know, and let the clothing go falling. No, listen, but I am going to kill. I censored myself. I am going to kill whoever took out that option if there was one.
よし、それじゃあこのパックを2つでいっちゃおうっと。
You know, I'm quite a purist and traditionalist and all that. If there was an option originally, I'm going to get pretty annoyed if they took it away. Oh, but she seems to have taken the advice I was going to give anyway.
ありがとうね。おかげでタイムサービスに間に合いそう。ああ、でもギリギリ。せっかく会えたのにな。
So long as you remember this feeling in my heart, I will always be with you. Let me get a quick save here. Yeah. Thank you.
ごめんね。これから駅前の薬局でトイレットペーパーのタイムサービスがあるからそれに行かないと。
Oh, they're selling toiletries by flashing. I see. No, don't worry about me. I won't be able to go on if pretty women leave me too much.
ありがとうございました。それじゃまたね、リンくん。
Yeah. Aren't you supposed to begin this by seeing that beautiful line as someone's waking me up? I chased after her and hugged her lower skirt, a romantic gesture which was interpreted by many as stalking. I could have sworn I saw her baby blue underwear beneath her skirt and felt they suited her in a charming way. Well, you have a good eye. Asa Senpai! Yeah, I know her. Not particularly interested in her, but she's supposed to have a number of interesting quirks that make her desirable to pursue on multiple levels. And take out the goddamn note, man. Anyone playing this probably knows what senpai is. Kohai, perhaps not, but senpai surely. Ah, okay. I believe I have the feeling I'm about to meet a beautiful woman. That's a good feeling. What? The hell? Huh. I could have sworn the situation was reversed and Kaede was the open quote freeloader, close quote. And, she was living at your place. Serious? Well, whatever. Brick paradise, a bunch of concrete holding people in it. Look at the background. The clouds are reminding me of Mabase, you know, Fuli Kuli. As a freeloader, I had to help out Katie and her family as much as possible. I did that regularly through stealing from her neighbors, which helped to drive away people that none of them, being people of good taste, had any much interest in. Those are the invisible letters. I can read them because I'm brilliant. I couldn't let her slave away from me all the time. However, if she were into that, I had no personal objections. I just tell her that I got these groceries because I had to get something else at the store for myself. The condom purchase need to be hid by something. It would be socially awkward. That way, she'd have no choice but to accept them. Okay, that's an interesting skill to brag about. Oh, is that beautiful, wistful woman? But I recall the music being more sad. This feels like music from an anime in the late 90s, or no, late 80s, though I wasn't really conscious then. I'm talking about, for example, My Goddess the Over. Beautiful, Over, by the way. Another one is Rurouni Kenshin, Trust and Betrayal. But anyway, as I turn, you know that one. You made the rain bleed. As I turned the corner, still lost in thought, I suddenly heard music. I heard music often in my head, but this time there was actually something in front of me which confirmed I wasn't going crazy. I needed confirmations like that these days. It's a song. It sounded as pure as a glass sculpture. Both the voice and the melody were beautiful and smooth. But perhaps in the woman singing it, you will. No, again, much more elegant and beautiful in the original version. But you have me to accompany you through this one, and you might find it difficult to acquire the limited edition that I own. I'm quite protective of it. No, so let's keep on enjoying this one. I could just have a faulty memory. Yes, going in the opposite direction of where you usually go can bring you some beautiful and pure adventures. Yes, but atmospheres like that are perfect for childhood friends. Called it. Hey man, anime's a beautiful world and our ideals happen there, and the whole childhood friend thing happens to be one of them. Plus, that park didn't have the monster in it. I would always look back on my way to my new school with a terrified tear of fondness as I saw that terrible monstrous demon chained in the middle of our park. But I had to move on, and it was the turn of other children to be traumatized by its glassy eyes and the blood and saliva dripping from its overly sharp and exaggerated fangs. I don't know why anyone put that there. The fountain was good for washing off the blood, of course. Never mentioning why the person had blood on them so regularly. Oh. Axle grease, but oh. Oh. This is Shuffle. Yep, she's taking mine away. But if I recall correctly, in the original version that I read, it might have just been a matter of different translation. There was a sort of beautiful, elegant sadness to this. I like that sort of thing, which explains to you partially why I am the sort of person that I am. No. It would be beautiful to have her sing that by the fireplace, you know? A nice home-like sort of feeling. You see, in Japan, bowing is indicating paying homage to your feudal lord. Obviously, he recognizes in her a great leader of men, or whatever.
少し驚いてしまっただけですから、気にしないでください。
No, no, no. Shuffle's supposed to be a world of deep emotion. Everyone's so upbeat in this one. Yes, I'm a very bizarre person. I was just now thinking if I should mention the Kalevala or if it would be particularly out of place. They had a lot of magical singers there too. Kalevala is a classic, and speaking of, a classic more modern in origin, Art and Elico. Very wonderful. Make sure you play that. Or at least you're being honest.
こともないですよ。私なんかよりも上手い方はもっと大勢いらっしゃいますから。
But it's you, the person who's in front of me now, who moved me. Tragic beauty.
でも、誰もいないと思っていたので、ちょっと恥ずかしいです。
That you want to nurture. Long dark hair and pale skin are a sign of beauty in an Eastern maiden. Puzzles you get to unravel.
そろそろ戻らないといけない時間ですので、失礼させていただきます。
I'm sorry, I shouldn't have talked over you. In case you can't tell, in Metal Gear Solid, of course, Psycho Mantis appraised me as a very cautious person. I save often. But I promise you I'm not doing this to reload, so don't worry. Only in case of a crash or something. No! Please give me a name.
いえ、少しでもお話できて嬉しかったですから。
Don't worry. Unlike in real life where beautiful women walk away from you out of your life forever, in anime, if you meet a beautiful girl, she's always sure to meet up with you again a bit in the future. Sometimes years later if you're a child when you meet her, but hey, don't worry, that's just something to look forward to.
それでは またお会いできる時を楽しみにしていますね。
And I'm getting all soft looking at you. Man, what have you been doing? You are wanted in one sense or another. I just wondered, do you have posters up all over the place because you did something? Well, if not in that sense, then you're at least wanted by all the beautiful women, so that's pretty good. Look, I have to tell you, I feel in the other translation, they built up the song a little bit more. I bet they write Eastern poetry about occasions like this. I remember one about a mysterious princess weeping at a bridge. And by the way, they say God and Devil. They could mean God and Devil in this case. This is Japan. But is it possible they mean Dever and Assure?
ありがとうございました。それじゃ、またね、リンク。
The usual suspects rolled by.
それでは、またお会いできる時を楽しみにしていますね。リン様。
She had perfect legs, perfect to run away from the scene of the crime. Boom. She had stolen my heart. How come they knew my name? Right, you forgot. You put on a little sticker on your shirt saying what your name was and where you belonged in case you ran off and got lost because you're just that stupid that you realized you needed the help as the day wore on because your brain cells and your glucose, never present in great supply to begin with, soon ran away, much like the hours did, and you occasionally needed the extra help to get home at the end of the day. They were reading your sticker and smiling at you and hoping it was just an ironic joke. It wasn't a joke. You should have followed her instead of reminiscing. Let's hope. Otherwise known as Dating Central, the dating center, I mean high school. Well, again, in anime, that sort of thing happens. But you may forget them, but they remember you, so that's always a very happy event. Love Hina, Art and Elgar, as I mentioned. That's naive, but I don't think your faith is misplaced this time. I spent the next hour playing on the swing because I was just that sort of person, and I hurled myself much like in my days of youth at full speed from the highest point of the swing. Oddly enough, I'd become much more of a sissy since then, and as I hit my shins against the bars, which you see all around here, the tears in my eyes made me miss that old monster I used to play around back during the days of the old park. Who brushed that thing's teeth? They were always so sparkling white, mixed with blood. They gleamed like sunlight, probably because sunlight was shining on them. It wasn't a sort of monster which felt the need to hide itself, because it was chained down, mind you, in the middle of a children's park. We never really asked why it was able to keep as plump as it did. Perhaps in a literal way. I'm sure I'll bump into them eventually. That's what I was referencing. Wishing I was carrying her melons in my hands, or something like that, you could say. But I knew that she had taken her heart away, my heart away and carried it with hers. Anyway, this is, again, at least something that I remember as a famous line in the first one, or first translation. It is possible they weren't playing dramatic music at the time. It is possible it was relaxed like this. Anyway, you could say I'm driving people away from watching this version. Don't at all think so. It's probably a fine version. This is Shuffle after all. But I would say that the glass is half full, and if you express enough interest, I may one day also play the original, limited edition, of course. Anyway, it's almost the rainy season. This is so beautiful. What a statement of youth and, optimism. It's almost the rainy season. A long and gloomy rainy season is coming. However, if I wait patiently, hot sunny days will arrive. No, this person's supposed to be indicating that he has the feeling that something incredible may, come after that, So, and then... Now, watch. This made me fall in love with visual novels. The innumerable possibilities are now in your hands. I'm so in love with this. It's been too long. This is what made me love visual novels. I'd like to live forever in this moment. Speaking of which, I wish to stand still as I would. I should pump the volume here. Feel the passion of this music. I had never seen anything like this. I should be quiet though. This though is really life. To have feelings like this is incredible, and you see why I'm doing this Let's Play as my first. This was incidentally, I believe, the opening of this, the very first the video that I ever saved on YouTube. What? I'd almost like to watch this again with you. Sorry, by the way. Sorry for talking over this. Rin-kun?
Rin-kun? もう朝ですよ.
Such a beautiful voice. And this could only belong to a woman you could fall in love with. Now you see that this is indeed a very interesting game. Can you imagine having a beautiful woman waking you up every day?
リンくん。リンくん、おはようございます。
By the way, you right-click in basically any visual novel and you can see the entirety of the scene without any text or anything. Just a little hint for you. This is Kaede Furuyu's beautiful, distinctive ribbon. And I think our main character is going to fantasize or mention or do... sorry, our main character is going to do something all of us fantasize about doing at some point. You'll see.
もう少し起きてくれるのが遅かったら思いっきりめくっちゃうところでした。
This is why you want to exist in dreams.
勉強していたんですか？
Women like her exist in dreams. I was going to wait to say that, but you took a little moment or two longer than I thought to finish saying that. Sorry, to get to speak next. Let me check something here. A lot of these games you press backspace? No. Well, I could just click log here. See, so this is something else that you ever skip past something? Or you were speaking when you shouldn't, and so miss something a bit, though certainly not any of her dialogue, I wouldn't miss that, and you can check here, see? By the way, most games also, you have this option.
リンくん。リンくん。
That was accidental the second time, but I don't mind it. Anyway, you were studying, so again, log. Okay, if you pull it up, let me see a bit. More first, I was up last night, battling the dragon which exists in my brain. Which test I have today. You had that yesterday, but I'll be taking it today. Anyway, I was up late last night studying for the English test I have today. Half a moment.
読み込んだ。
How did that happen? I'll add this other point. Often what can happen is there's an auto forward option. Very curious as to how that suddenly got triggered. I wonder if I held it down or something. Usually that's holding down the space bar, but I swear I really wasn't doing anything like that. Maybe it's, you know, back in these days you had elegant things which were called mouses, mice, whatever. With the pads, on the other hand, sometimes you're clicking or about and it actually registers scroll up or scroll down, so that could be it. Anyway, no, I was trying to study, but it didn't make it to my desk. Beautiful. Still, you should have been studying her anatomy rather than English, and why learn English when so many English people are trying to learn Japanese to meet beautiful women like this? This woman's name you will soon learn. Yes, I was up late last night studying for the English test I have today. You were studying? No, I was trying to study, but I didn't make it to my desk. She has a sense of humor too, that's wonderful.
寝かせてあげるのは構わないですけれど、朝ごはん食べる時間なくなっちゃいますよ。今日のお味噌汁はリンくんの大好きななめこ汁なんですけど。
Seriously, miso was once like my favorite meal. I would, you know, I ate that if not every meal. I don't eat too many meals, a bit too much of a monkish, ascetic, sort of scholarly sort, no, whatever. I I used to eat that all the time. For, geez, like over a year. I actually made a big event of when I first got to eat miso, because that was actually pretty special to me. Yeah, I have to say, miso's awesome, so mushroom miso, that sounds interesting. Oh! One other thing. It is a metaphor in anime, and I don't know about if in Japanese culture, about wanting a woman to make, miso for you. Basically means you want to marry her, or you want her to be your wife. And so her making miso like this for you may be something of an indication. I don't know. Maybe it's just your favorite meal. So, I think I'm going to cut it off here, and I leave till next time you finding out who this beautiful woman is who's waking you up.